Dillian Whyte gets knocked out in the 5th round cold by Alexander Povektin in a thrilling heavyweight fight. I'm quite shocked. You know, not that Povektin won, but the manner of the way he won was brutal. Very heavy knockdown. Deontay Wilder's probably going to be dancing his head off. Tyson Fury. I mean, Andy Ruiz has already reacted and laughing. The final hurdle, Dillian Whyte lost. I mean, let's talk about the fight. You know, one thing I got to say, and this is not a fact, but I just find it quite interesting. Is it me or anytime Dillian Whyte doesn't cut his hair bald, he seems to not have the best performances, or at least get hurt. Obviously, he had a Mohican when he fought Joshua. It was quite nappy. He got knocked out. He had a nappy head when he had, an afro when he fought Oscar Rivas, got dropped. And now in this fight, didn't cut his hair. And he got knocked out cold by Alexander Povektin. And interestingly enough, it's always the uppercut that seems to hurt Dillian. In every fight, he's been knocked down. It started from the uppercut. In the AJ fight, the uppercut was pivotal. Obviously, the uppercut is what knocked him out clean. In the Parker fight, before he actually got dropped, it was an uppercut that set it up, that Parker threw, which got Dillian on shaking legs before he got dropped. And obviously, Oscar Rivas threw an uppercut and that dropped him. I know Alexander Povektin threw an uppercut. So all Dillian Whyte's knockdowns have been from uppercuts. So that's a very vulnerable punch that he's got to be careful going forward. Guys like AJ throw it very well. Wilder not really, but it's a punch that hurt him. I thought he was doing quite well. He looked a little bit lethargic. I thought Povektin's punch resistance is gone, by the way. Povektin first two things I thought from the first opening few rounds is Povektin is shot. His legs looked stiff. He looked super slow. Dillian's defense was really good majority of the fight because he was tucked up quite well, and Povektin was just, his combinations were slow. Besides that big punch, did Povektin land to the head that clean? They had a few exchanges in the middle, but he was getting hurt to the body bad. He was wincing. The first knockdown, he kind of took a knee, but he was getting shaken. If anybody else was watching the fight, he was getting shaken from a few punches and then just getting roughed up. Even certain jabs were just hurting him. I could just see by his face. He was getting swelled up, he was getting quite reddened. And I thought Dillian Whyte was doing quite well. He seemed a little bit slow. In terms of his start was quite slow, but he seemed like he was doing well. He had a good jab. He hurt Povektin. Obviously, Povektin got dropped twice. One was with a meaty uppercut, and one was a straight right hand. He kind of took a knee, and but it looks like Povektin was going to get stopped. He was, every time he was getting hit clean, he was getting hurt, and it just to me it seemed like, the writing was on the wall, And then out of nowhere, Povektin just leaps in with a fantastic uppercut. It was clean. And Dillian Whyte went down heavy and he did not get up. The referee didn't even do a count. It was quite confusing watching it live. It was like, I think everyone was so surprised that they kind of wanted him to get up, but he was gone. And Povektin looked more shocked. Povektin was quite shocked. He kind of jumped up like, oh, wow. Hey. I'm saying? He kept, and the thing about Povektin is every round he kept doing these stretches in the corner for his legs, but I just feel like he's just getting shot, in terms of his punch resistance, and he just doesn't, obviously he got the punch and his heavyweight boxing. In this instance, I'm going to say it was kind of, I wouldn't say a lucky punch, but it was quite random. And you got to give him all the credit because he found a way, but I'd be picking Dillian Whyte to beat him in the rematch. I have got a question where Dillian Whyte's punch resistance is going to be. I will do a separate video because it's like in every fight he's getting hurt. And look, when you fight top guys, you can't complain. But I saw him get hurt by Marius Wack. Hit on the temple, he got hurt there. He didn't go down, but he was shaken. He was obviously dropped by Rivas, hurt by Parker, hurt by he got rocked by Hernandez. Chisora rocked him in the first fight a couple of times. He was, if you watch the second fight, he was hurt a couple of times in terms of he was stunned a few times. You know, and it's heavyweight boxing. You know, everyone's hurt in every fight. It's a fight, obviously, but I just fear, will he be the same in terms of his punch resistance going forward? Because when you get hit like that, and especially immediate rematch, Povektin is going to be more confident than he is. You know, and it's like, you know, where will Dillian Whyte's mindset be? You know, how confident will he be in himself? You know, I know there's going to be a lot of haters that are going to be jumping to this, calling him overrated, but he was winning the fight. I mean, but, you know, it's heavyweight boxing, man. I am disappointed. I was rooting for him, man. But Povektin pulled it out of the bag. You know, there is a rematch clause, so they'll probably have the rematch end of the year. And if Dillian Whyte comes through that, hopefully he'll get his mandatory status. But it had to be the final hurdle that he had to lose, you know. And I'm sure the WBC are laughing their heads off. And I'm sure, you know, Tyson Fury's laughing, Wilder's laughing. Dillian did do a lot of talking, and people are going to question his coach because technically he hasn't lost with Mark Tibbs, you know. But I can't blame a coach, you know, for you know. Listen, Povektin threw that punch, and that would have knocked out anybody. You know, it came out. Dillian was winning the fight, and it just came out the blue. But you've got to question Dillian Whyte's training. You know, I believe him in Loughborough. He's better training in Loughborough. This Portugal thing maybe wasn't the best. The heat, the overtraining, the changing of the fight being scheduled. He most likely overtrained and burnt too much. You know, but all the praise to Povektin. Great fight, and looking forward to the rematch. I'm going to do a separate video on Dillian Whyte's punch resistance and on where that's at. But yeah, I'm out.